Hi everybody, this is Rita Holmes, independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up. I've come tonight to bring you a little technique with using Scrappy strips with DSP paper. Fast cards, easy to use up some DSP that you got laying around. If you don't know what DSP is, that's a stamping in the Stampin' Up language as designer series paper. And but you can do it with any paper if you don't have Stampin' Up paper. But anyway, it's a fun card to make, and we're going to be making that in a few minutes. But right now, I just want to remind you that Stampin' Up has their celebration going on, which will end the end of the month. They brought out some new things that you could earn for free. Some $50. If you spend $50, you get something free, and then there's some if you spend $100 that you get for free. So if you haven't checked that out, you might want to. I have my website down here, and I'll show that to you in a minute. If you don't have a demonstrator, I'd love to be that demonstrator for you, and you can order from my website at any time, or my online store actually. And also, if you would like to join Stampin' Up, I would be here and be your upline for that, and I'd love for you to join my team. I have a small team now, but I'd love to grow it. So if you are thinking about, or when you do think about, please keep me in mind, because I really want to work hard on growing that team a little bit. So I can only do that by asking all of you guys to help me with that. So with that being said, and reminding you that celebration is over the end of the month, but the new mini catalog goes on till after Christmas, so you don't have to worry about that. There'll be that for you to do. And in September, we're going to bring out some die cuts to go with some stamp sets that's either in the mini catalog or the annual catalog, so that you can bundle those together if you don't have them. And I'll show you what those stamp sets are as soon as I turn my camera. So I think we're going to go ahead and turn the camera right now so I can show you that, and we can get started with our cards. You're going to see the cards right now when I turn the camera, because they're laying on my table. So close your eyes if you get dizzy, because we are going to come up in the air and look at the ceiling. Always a fun time. So let's turn you around. Since I'm done playing in the sky, to what I call it. Try to get my phone cord so it'll stay out of the way. And here are the cards we're going to be making. Well, we're going to make this card right here. And here is also all of my information. If you'd like to take a screenshot of that so that you have that, that would be a great thing to do. And I'm making sure that I can see my hands on the iPad and know that I'm in line with you guys. But here's my online store, my email address, my Facebook group, Stamp Crazy VIP, where I do videos every Tuesday morning. It's the same video I've been doing here, excuse me. And but I do them every Tuesday at 10 o'clock, and I also put the PDF in the files, and here's the PDF. If you would need that, it's over in the files at Stamp Crazy VIP in the Facebook group, and it's under the files section. And if you notice the name of the video here, which is Scrappy Strips DSP card, that is the name of the file in the file section. Here are the celebration items that they've come out with, the new ones. It's in the catalog, but they're offering them as deals. You have the Aspen dies, the Daffodil dies, the Flowers of Home dies, and the Dots and Spots dies. And that's if you spend $100, you can get that for free. The other for $50 and free is silver foil paper, craft gift boxes, brush metallic 12x12, seashells embossing folder, gingham embossing folder, and the timbers embossing folder. And then in September, we're going to be coming out with dies to match some of the stamp sets that we already have out. Like this is the Apple Harvest stamp set. And now they've brought dies out to go with it. So if you don't have it, you can actually bundle it. They are doing that with the fresh cut stems. That's in the annual catalog. The apples are in the mini catalog, the new mini catalog that's out. We have the piggies in the annual catalog. We have the tree trimming dies in the annual catalog. And the waterfall canyon is in the annual catalog. So those stamp sets are already there, and they're making the dies to match, and you can buy them as a bundle, or if you already have the stamp set, you can just buy the dies. And then the Yeti dies are actually in the mini catalog. So there are those that will be coming out September 1st to September 30th. They're going to only be out for a month. So you might want to think about that if you want to get them, and be sure to have your order ready to be placed just in case they run out of anything. So, okay, here's our card. I call it Scrappy Strip DSP because we're using DSP as our strips. I'm going to show you how I do this. I love the card. Here's all of my strips, and I just cut them, and I cut them 9 inches long. And the reason why I do that is, let me get one out so that I can show you that depending on where you put it on the card, you have a lot. But if you came up and put that right on the corner, you're only going to have a little bit left. So you want to cut it long enough that you have plenty of cardstock left, okay? So I'm going to move this out of the way. So if you need a screenshot of it, go ahead and do that now. And also, if you don't mind to share my video, I would love for you to do a share. Just hit the share button. Doesn't hurt anything. You never know who's going to see it that might want to see something stamping. And also the subscribe button, the little bell. If you would hit that and subscribe to my channel, you'll know when I'm coming on with a video. So got all that work stuff out of the way. So we're going to move this out of the way. We don't need it right now. And we are going to get ready to do this. The only thing stamped on here is the sayings. And I got that out of the go-to greetings, and it's this happy birthday that I'm using. This card was done with the paper that's called He's All That, which has 2 pages of dies in there that you just go ahead and snap out of there, and you've got your dies that you can use. So that's how this card was made, for like a manly card. And then when you open it up, you have your piece of DSP in here to kind of bring the outside to the inside of your card. This one, I did the Use of Happiness cardstock. I mean, not cardstock, DSP. And I used the die cuts out of that you can go ahead and just cut out. And then I put a piece inside. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to be doing this one because I already have a bunch of it cut. And I'll just move this right out of the way. And I hope you can see that one. Put this over here. And then what we're going to use as far as supplies, we're going to use a piece of black. It's measured 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2. And then you just fold it and kind of burnish that. We're going to use this 5 1/4 by 4 inch piece that will go to the inside when I get ready to do that. We'll just be putting it in here. This is measured 5 1/2 by 4 1/4 because when I put my papers on there, then I'm going to trim it down so they all have nice clean cuts, okay? So we're going to do that. Let's put this to the side. And these are measured 5 1/4 by 1 1/8 and 5 1/4 by 1, and that's what's going to go across the front of our card. Sounds like I got a frog in my throat, but I don't. So we're going to be working with this. We're going to be working with the samples. I'm going to get some of these out, and I'm going to use some of the little ones maybe. You just don't know what you're going to come into that you might need the little one. Depends on how you put your strips on here. And I'm not laying my strips out to see what goes with what because they are all out of the same paper packet. And they go together. I might put one up there and decide I don't want that like the other one, but that's okay too. I'm going to go ahead and take this one though because I really want flowers on here. And I think I'm going to add it just like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down from corner to corner. And I've got some glue on there, and I'm going to just put this one at the edge to where I will have more down here to cut off. So I'm just going to do that, put that on. As you can see, there we go. Then I think I am going to bring in maybe, let's just look and see what all we have here, because I have no idea what we have. I think I'll bring this in, put it right here. So, goodness. I didn't do that till I started it on here. It's the way it always goes though, isn't it? So I'm just going to take and I'm going to lay that down, and again, I'm not going to put much on one end, and that way I'll have more to cut off. I'm leaving about an 1/8 inch in between there. And I think I will bring in this, and I'm going to put it right here on this corner, okay? So I'm going to just not go all the way up because I want that little 1/8 inch line in there. And then I'm going to put this down. I'm going to rub that in that glue and bring some of that glue up here and lay that down. And you just want to make sure, need to pick it up. You just want to make sure that you've got that kind of even there, straight. And then I think I'll bring in, let's see if I got some small pieces of anything I want to use. I like to use Scrap Up, that's the best thing. I'm going to bring this in and put it right here. So I'm just adding the glue as I go, because of not being really sure where I want it. Now I've got this little line in the middle, which, you know, might not make a bit of difference, but then it also could make a bit of difference. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a little piece in there. The tiniest of pieces. And I'm going to leave that margin. And some of that will be cut off, and maybe all of it, I don't know. We will see. So let's come over to this side. And I think I will put one of these right here. That looks good. So what I'm going to do is just put that down, leave that margin. Wants to stick to my finger. And I don't want it to stick to my finger. There we go. I'm not going to worry about that little piece right there. Now I'm going to do this side, but I like to work from this way, so I'm going to bring it up over this way. And I think I'm going to bring this really colorful piece in. And I think I'm going to just go right like this, maybe over here. So we're going to lay that down. There we go. Then I think I'll bring a piece of flower in here again. And we're going to go right here. I like the flower prints. Flowers are my favorite. I love to do flower stuff. I probably overload people with too many flowers, but I'm sorry. Maybe we'll bring a piece of this in right here. We haven't used one of those. Let's bring that in. Put that right here. There's no right or wrong way, you know, as far as when you're putting your papers down. You just put down what you think looks good to you. Usually works. We're going to bring in this little piece right here. And I'm going to, I think I might even put it that way or that way. Let's put that in that way. Right there. And then let's come in with maybe a piece of this. And then we're going to use a little piece right at the corner there, and let's see what we can use. See what I have here that might be pretty. I tell you what I'm going to do is I'm going to snip this one paper because I think I want some of this yellow right here. So I'm just going to add some glue right there and stick this down. Okay, now let's tidy up my mess. Tidy up my mess, and then I'm going to cut those papers down a little bit, and then we will make our big cut. Okay, so I'm going to bring this in, and I'm going to go ahead, and I'm just going to cut this short. I'm not cutting it all the way. I'm just cutting it short. And there's a reason. There's always reasons, right? Always reasons why you're doing something that people don't understand. It's like, I got a reason why I'm doing that. And then I'm going to have plenty of pieces left to make another card. I don't have to worry about that. But I can't stand all the mess. It drives me crazy. I can be a very messy crafter, but sometimes it just gets overload to me. Okay, let's cut this side off a little bit. Now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring my paper cutter in, and I'm going to bring cut this down to a 5 1/4 by 4. Now I didn't cut my strips beforehand, but all of my strips were cut 1 inch by 9 inches so that I could make sure I had enough. But you can, you know, cut them the length you want. But cut, you know, an inch is a really good way to start with that. Now I'm just going to cut off the very edge on one side. When it cuts little. See, I'm just taking a little edge off right there on that side. And I'm going to do the same on this side real quick. And then what I'm going to do, because I got those two edges off, now I can line this up really well. So I'm going to bring this over here, and I'm going to put this at 4 inches. And then I'm going to make my cut. Okay, so there we go. And that little piece that I left open, you don't even know it's there. And then I'm going to take it this way, and I'm going to do 5 1/4. So there we go. That is our piece of, that's our matted piece. And I can put it on my card. Let's bring my card back in. I can put that this way, or I can turn it this way and do it. It really doesn't matter in the big scheme of things. It just is whatever way you want your diagonals to go. And what I'm doing is just rubbing my edges where I used that on the paper trimmer to make sure they're all nice and flat. I am going to bring that in real quick and get me a piece of cardstock. And I'm going to cut that down to 4 inches. That is going to be for the inside of my card. So there we go. We got a piece for the inside. That's going to go on that white piece that I just had in here that I just don't know what I did with. It's on the floor. It's over here. How'd it got way over there? So do I want it on this side or do I want it on this side? I think I want this side. So what I'm going to do is take, and I might have to trim my white piece down if it's not matched exactly. That drives me crazy. So I'm just going to take this and I'm going to put it right here at the very edge. Along that edge. It doesn't match. There's a hair, just a hair. Everything's just a hair, just a sliver. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and cut that off. I'm just going to bring this in a little bit. And make sure that's cut, and then you don't see the white underneath there where my DSP is. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put this in the inside. So let's get glue all over your fingers. That always works too, doesn't it, right? How can you stamp if you don't have a little bit of glue on you? So there you go. That's, I'm going to burnish that a little bit. That feels like a little rough edge right there. Okay, so that is done. I'm going to bring this in. I'm going to go ahead and put it on my card. Just add me some glue on there. Go ahead and put this up here on my card. So that it looks fairly nice. Whoops. Kind of pull that little piece up. So let's just do a dot of glue right there. Hold it down for a second. And get my handy dandy glue eraser. Just remove that little bit of glue right there. There we go. Alrighty. So now we have that part of the card. Now I'm going to bring this in and I'm going to stamp happy birthday with my go-to greeting stamps. Stamps. I'm using Memento Black. And I'm going to stamp that over here towards the right. There we go. Now I'm going to go ahead and adhere this to the black. And I'm going to make sure that I have it to the edge. And I'm just having a little 1/8 inch border show. And I'm going to turn that over, and I have a little sliver there that I don't want to. So I'm just going to hold my scissors right next to the black and trim that off. See, it's just a little piece, but enough that I knew it was there. And I didn't want to know that. So I'm going to glue this down on my card. I'll glue it right here. Now you can just pick wherever you want to glue it. I don't want to touch where I stamped at right now. So, and then what I'm going to do is I've got some of the flowers that I had actually stamped off of, or had cut out. Let's see what all's in here. Maybe let's do a yellow one. That'd be pretty. And what I'm going to do is, if I can find them, I'm going to take my little scissors. It's easier. And I'm going to cut this little piece of stem off. And so I'm just going to make a V in here. And cut that off. because I don't want that there. I'm going to use this. See if I have another leaf like it. If not, I know there's a leaf in here. I see it. We can use both of those. Those will look fine. You don't have to make every card exactly alike, because actually the person you send these to, one person isn't going to see the other person's card unless they are really good friends that live next door and say, hey, did you see the card that Susie sent me? And she's like, yeah, I got one too. And then they're like comparing that they're alike. You don't want that to happen. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and glue, or not glue, but I'm going to use dimensionals and put my flower on. So I'm going to use 2 dimensionals. We're going to just stick that on right like that. Then I think I'm going to take these, maybe, and I'm going to put right over in this area. I might put it like right there. That might look good. So I'm going to glue that. So let's just glue it. Slide that in under there where I want it to go. And what I do is usually take my scissors and just make sure that it's down underneath there so that it's going to hold. And then let's bring this one over here, and maybe we'll put this one. I'm going to have to cut that off if I put it over here maybe. Do I want it there? I might just put it down here with this other one somehow, some way. I think I'll cut that down a little bit. Let's cut some of this off. Nobody will see it. It's going to be hidden. Let's put that right there. Okay. So we're going to add a little glue to the back of that. Look how pretty that bluey purple. And there we go. We have our card. That's all we need to do with that. Now you can put some other embellishments on it if you want to. I kind of like the plainness of it because that pulls in all my paper that you really see instead of all of the embellishments, the bling, as we call it. So that is our card. I hope you like it. I hope you try it. It's a good way to use up your strips because you can cut a bunch of DSP into 1-inch strips. Even put them like into baggies or whatever, and then you have them ready, you know, so that you know that they coordinate whatever you have together, and just use them. And I have this container back there, which worked out great. Even if I had containers to stack, I could cut up bunches of DSP. It's a quick card to do. Demonstrating it takes a little bit longer, but there they are. And then here is the masculine card, which, you know, I think one thing, if you had a lot of wood grain paper and did all different wood grains on here, that would make a very classy masculine card, I think. So anyway, that is the 3 cards. I hope you try this technique, and until I get back with you, I hope that you stay safe. Have a blessed day or night or whatever it is, and I will be back to see you soon. Thanks, and bye.